Good evening. It might interest you all to know that I wear a tattoo. It's hidden discreetly, but it's somewhere I could actually show it to you if you're interested, and I'm not shy. Just ask me later. Madam Toastmaster, fellow members, and honored guests. I tell you about my tattoo because it actually represents where I've come, this journey in life that I'm on, which I call my perpetual pursuit of truth. And it's a journey. It's an ongoing journey that probably won't stop until I'm actually in the ground or my ashes are spread everywhere. And the tattoo itself incorporates the symbols of a Hindu goddess named Kali. And it's her symbols of truth and transformation. And they are a dagger, which is the cutting edge of truth, and fire for the burning away of old perception and belief. So what I'd like to share with you tonight is some things I'm learning along my journey, and you'll see why, I think, as we go along. To get started, I'd like to do a quick demonstration. And if I could get a volunteer from the center of the room. Karen, would you be my volunteer? Just stay right where you are. Stay right where you are. Stay right where you are. You don't need to go anywhere.
Okay.
It's not going to take long if you could just hold it up and like this. And if you could not move it and just keep it like that. Okay. So, let's see. Kate, from your seat, have a look at the ball. And I just want you to describe what you see of the ball from right where you're sitting.
I see orange and blue and yellow stripes pointing horizontal.
Okay, thank you. Great. Maria, could you do the same? Just give us a brief description of what you see of that ball right there.
On this side, I see 3 different colors. I see a red segment, a white one with letters on it, writing, and a green one.
Great, thank you very much. Halita, could you do the same?
I can see orange, green, and white. Orange and green are really shiny. They're reflecting a lot of light.
Thank you very much. And one more. We get the gentleman in the back room there.
Well, I guess with me, I look at it as somewhat symbolic. Sort of
Just what are you,
future,
okay.
Reaching towards the future, reaching something.
Okay. And what do you see of the ball? Just if you look at the ball and describe what you see, what do you see?
Various triangles, various colors, and a mix of everything.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Karen. You're very welcome. So I happened upon this kind of demonstration quite a while ago, and I use it in workshops now and again because it demonstrates for me truth. If we look at this beach ball as truth, how do we get to it? What does it tell us? Well, what it tells me is that when I look at the ball from here, I have a perspective of the truth. And if I were looking at it the way that Kate did, we might be looking at a little bit of the same thing, right? However, the challenge comes in if we look at what Kate and what Maria saw, it's pretty much nothing of the same. But the truth is that they're both right. And what happens is our human nature gets in the way of what I think is sort of our divinity, which is the truth that each of us carries around. We each carry around this core piece of us that's part of divine. In the Christian tradition, there's the Lord's Prayer. I'm not familiar with other religions, but I have a feeling that there are some similarities. And there's a line that always strikes me, which is, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And for me, it's an extremely poignant phrase because I believe that each of you, when we join together and we look at the truth from all of our perspectives, wow, for me that's powerful. It's huge. It's inspirational. And that's a vision that I have for the world, is that we're all living in this divine truth. But we're not. We're living in a human world, and we all have human foibles and all these things. Some particular ones that come into mind are our absolute uncanny capacity to focus on the negative. We see it in our news, we see it every day. We just heard, we're fighting it to some degree, try to focus on the positive, because there's a great deal more of the positive. But it's a way our brain works. When you think of movement in a still room, where do our eyes go? What gets our attention? It's that thing that moved. It's not all the stillness that's still there. It's that thing that moved. And we see that as negative. We see it as out of place. So when we come across a Maria and a Kate, we see something very differently, from very different perspectives. Where do we go? As humans, and it's just human nature, we go to that place where, well, it's out of place, so I've got to fix it, so you're wrong. People heard the phrase, it's not wrong, it's just different. So it's about overcoming those things. And it's counterintuitive how we might do that. Because what we tend to do is fight all those things about our human nature that sort of get in the way of us getting to our truth and expressing ourselves. We heard Rita talk earlier this evening about feeling sort of suppressed and repressed, and all I kept sitting there thinking was, come out. I want to see what your truth is. I want to see that divinity in you. And she's working on that. But it's not by denying ourselves, it's not by denying our human nature, but it's by accepting it and appreciating it and moving on. So we can be caught with daggers everywhere. Daggers fly, right? And we can be caught in the fires of grief because we're in constant change. And we just get caught in those fires over and over again. But what we can do is choose to simply fall on our own blade of truth. We can choose to walk through our personal fire of truth, to reveal our own truth and begin building that divine truth that we can all live in love. Madam Toastmaster.